Hi everybody, my name is Jim with Full Moon Adventure Club. This is an update to the water damage repair video I did in the overhead cab of my Class C Jamboree. I had a couple of viewers write in and ask the question, why didn't you remove the window to replace the seal to prevent future leaks? And also, at the very least, why didn't you pull off the trim so that when you do your paneling, you can cover it with the trim and you don't have to worry about the color putty or anything else? Very valid questions, guys, and I can't believe I forgot to mention this in the other videos when I did the repair, but there is a reason that I did not do that. And that's because that's a 36-year-old window with water damage and all those screws are just cemented into place. So I'm going to show you a little video of exactly why I couldn't remove that right now. A lot of people were wondering why I didn't remove the trim in the overhead cab around the window. This window's never had water damage, so you can remove the trim. Screws come right out. But when we move to the overhead cab here, these have all had some water damage, and every single one I try will not budge. They all strip out. And so that was just going to be a nightmare because I guarantee most of these screws aren't going to come out. And that would mean that it'd just be a nightmare trying to get them all out. I'd have to break them off or grind them out, drill them out, and then replace them somehow. And that's just not something I wanted to go through. So with the water damaged window, I just had to go around the trim as opposed to removing the trim. So that's the reason I wasn't able to actually remove the window and do all that stuff. Of course, it's a great idea to go ahead and replace that seal if you're comfortable with that job and take it out, replace the seal. And then when you cut your paneling, you can cover it with the window trim, which is what it's originally designed to do. It hides all the little imperfections and gaps and makes it look perfect. So if you can do that, of course, that's what you should do. Wish I had mentioned that in the video. But for me, it just wasn't an option. I tried handheld screwdrivers, different sized bits, all that stuff, and every single one was just stripping out on me, and I was like, I'm not going to mess with this. I'd have had to have probably used a little grinder wheel to grind off the little heads of all the screws, and that would have scratched up the window. And I don't think the window would have survived the process of me trying to break it free of its rusty tomb there, and I don't know where I'd even begin to go about replacing that window. So I didn't want to get into that, and that's why I had to go around it, and I left it in place. As far as sealing the water leak, I wish I could have replaced the window seal, but what I had to do and what finally worked for me in stopping the leak was a combination of silicone, lap sealant up top, also Turnabond tape going over the roof, and siliconing the seals and the corner bead. And then last but not least, I used half a can of Flex Seal, that stuff that's seen on TV. Can of Flex Seal, and I think that combination is what finally just sealed it up tight as a drum. And I had no water leaks. I actually went out there and right after we had a big snow, rain, slush storm kind of a thing, and water was just pouring off the front corner of that RV, which is why it usually leaks, is because that's usually the lowest point in the driveway, and all the water just pours off there. And so I went out there and checked it out, and it was dry as a bone. I'll show you a little video clip real quick. After using the Flex Seal, I just want to show you that there's a lot of water pouring off of this front corner from the snow. And we were dry as a bone. So once I was sure it wasn't going to leak anymore, I put everything back together, and I'm like the rest of the RV, I'm just going to have to keep going over it and sealing it probably twice a year. That's just the unfortunate truth of having an old RV like that. It's going to be a constant fight to keep it watertight. But there you go. So I wish I'd mentioned those things in the other video, but thanks so much for the comments that brought that to my attention. It is very important information to know, and that's why I wasn't able to do it that way. But now you know, so I'm glad that cleared things up. My name is Jim with Full Moon Adventure Club. Hope that helped you out, and as always, till the next video, thanks so much for watching, and happy camping.